Good afternoon. In my role as Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, I work closely with all the student government leaders. With Eve, my relationship was perhaps a bit more special because she was the first female president with whom I have worked at Carolina. I remember our first meeting last April with the senior leaders of student government and the Chancellor, the Provost, and Dick Mann, and myself. We gathered in the first floor conference room of South Building, and Eve started the meeting by saying, I have 10 points, 10 goals that I want to accomplish this year. She was passionate, enthusiastic, engaged, committed, and very verbal. I learned in that first meeting that my role on Eve's team was going to be to help her harness her energy, her passion into the 1-hour time slots that we regimented and predictable administrators like to work in. I also learned that I needed to schedule my meetings with the student government leaders mostly at the end of the day so that we could stay talking for a long time. And I learned to treasure those conversations because we would talk not just about business, but about life. Many times throughout the year, Eve would come by my office with ideas such as, what about a speaker series? Or how about if we bring back Springfest? And my role was to help marshal the resources to accomplish these goals. In each of these major projects, she sought out partnerships with other student organizations or with academic departments across campus. She expanded her cabinet in the student government to be the largest, most inclusive group of students ever. Her team of student leaders would form coalitions with others across campus that will be evidenced in our program here today. Sometimes Eve and I talked about other aspects of leadership, the difference between being liked and being respected, how to have balance in your life, and Eve lived life full throttle, or how to be a change agent, a positive change agent. You see, I was learning as much from her in these conversations as she was learning from me. Other times, she was just like any other college student, any one of you sitting out there today, thrilled to be at Carolina and participating in all of our traditions. For the last home Duke-Carolina men's basketball game, she came by my office that day and asked what did I think about her wearing a formal dress, her prom dress, she called it, to the game. I laughed and I said, go for it, Eve, you're a senior, have some fun. And that night, I looked across from my section right here, and I saw her gorgeous in that prom dress. Eve's inspirational words will always remain in our hearts and our minds. Eve said, quote, I love UNC, I love the quad in the spring, the arboretum in the fall, I love the pit on a sunny day, and Graham Memorial Lounge on a rainy one. It's us, the student body, who make UNC what it is. So many of us have been moved by those words that we have commissioned a painting by North Carolina artist Brenda Baer that will incorporate those 4 images of Eve's love for Carolina. For each and every one of us who worked with Eve at Carolina, it was a true privilege to be part of her team. The UNC Gospel Choir will now sing Amazing Grace, followed by Professor Joe Templeton, Chair of our faculty.
Amazing Grace, Eve Carson. Amazing Grace indeed. The popular hymn, written in the mid-18th century by John Newton, sailor, deserter, slave trader, and preacher, has both music and lyrics that speak to us here today. Thanks to the UNC Gospel Choir for contributing such a forceful rendition of a song full of grace and humanity that inevitably stirs deep emotions. From this day forward, it will evoke warm memories of Eve Carson for those of us gathered to honor her here in the Smith Center. Was it wonderful to be in the same room with Eve? As a member of the Board of Trustees, Eve joined the University Affairs Subcommittee for the Wednesday afternoon sessions, and as chair of the faculty, I'm allotted 5 minutes of on-the-air time by board member Rusty Carter. After listening to 2 of my verbal presentations at university affairs meetings, Eve and I bumped into each other on Polk Place one day, and in her effervescent Eve speak, she said to me, "I love the stories and jokes you tell at BOT meetings. Are those reports?" My job today is simple. I'm supposed to represent UNC faculty. It's always difficult to do so well. Today, it is simply impossible. Nonetheless, I want to say on behalf of faculty, to the Carson family and to the Carolina family, that Eve Carson was the reason we came to work on March 4th, and Eve Carson will be the reason we will come to work on March 19th. You see, we have important work to do with you students, and we intend to meet our obligations to all of the Eve Carsons who pass through Carolina. As faculty, we pledge to give you students the education you deserve, whether you want it or not. My impression is that Eve never slept. In closing, I want to read a Native American prayer entitled A Celebration of Life. Do not stand by my grave and weep. I am not here. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glint on snow. I am the sun on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awake in morning hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds encircling light. I am the soft starlight at night. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. Next we'll hear from Seth Dearman, former student body president.